Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand. Today we'll be talking about some of the news topics from across Thailand and ASEAN now. Quick shout out before we start the show. We have IFX Expo Asia 2024 happening in Thailand from the 16th to the 18th of September, and the location is at the Centara Grand and Bangkok Convention Center. What is the IFX Expo, you ask? Well, the IFX Expo is the online trading industry's biggest event series, bringing the world's top fintech brands with like-minded professionals. It has grown into a global standard, providing every individual a hub to network, exchange ideas, and grow their business. So if you're into trading, Forex, crypto, whatever it may be, then IFX Expo is the place to be. That's 16th to 18th September at the Centara Grand and Bangkok Convention Center. Now, let's talk about some news. Our first story today is about a 18-year-old who was killed by American bulldogs in Lopburi. An 18-year-old man in Lopburi was found dead after being attacked by 3 American bulldogs belonging to his older brother. The incident occurred on August 31st, with the victim discovered by his mother and brother upon their return home. The man had been alone the previous night and was captured on CCTV playing with the dogs before they turned aggressive. Now, despite attempting to escape, he was fatally injured. The dogs were still in the room when his body was found. Authorities are investigating and have sent the body for a post-mortem examination. Now, we don't quite know what exactly got the dogs all riled up, but this is a continuation of a couple of harrowing stories past this year and last year, where a lot of these dogs have actually killed their owner or killed someone, the neighbor. So it's still yet to be seen what really happens, but yeah, we'll keep you up to date. You can find more information on that story in the link below or on thetiger.com. We're going to move on to our next story now, which is regarding flash floods collapse major road in Sukhothai. Now, flash floods and the Yom River have collapsed a 300-meter section of Highway 1195 in Wangyai, Sukhothai, submerging farmland and affecting thousands of residents. Now, while water levels are receding, several areas remain on high alert. The road damage has forced officials to close the route, with heavy machinery deployed for repairs. Charity groups from Chonburi are assisting flood victims by donating essential supplies. The floods have impacted 7 districts, affecting nearly 8,000 households and damaging over 43,000 rai of farmland. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year where I'm probably, either me or Alex, or both of us, are going to be presenting you a lot of news about flash floods, flooding all over Thailand. We often get to talk about, Bangkok and how it affects most people, and that makes the news a lot, but especially rural areas and areas around Thailand, including farmland, get flooded due to heavy rainfall. Now, we had heavy rainfall over the weekend here in Bangkok, Thailand, and I'm guessing other parts of Thailand as well, and that's obviously part of the reason of these flash floods. So do be safe out there if you are in Sukhothai, living near that area. Stay dry, everyone. We're going to move on to our next story, which takes us to the south of Thailand, to Yala, where there's been a gunfire eruption and a collision. Now, a minor vehicle collision in Yala's Malayu Bangkok market escalated into a shooting when 2 men fired 3 shots at a durian contractor's pickup truck before fleeing on a motorcycle. The incident occurred on August 31st, with the assailants ambushing the contractor after an earlier collision. Now, fortunately, no one was injured, but the truck was damaged. Police are investigating the incident, interviewing witnesses, and have alerted checkpoints to search for the suspect's motorcycle. The altercation appears to have stemmed from the collision, with no prior connection between the parties. What simply looks like a road collision turned into a shooting because, people get angry, road rage, but I've never seen it go to this point where they're starting to shoot each other over a small collision. But Yala, often kind of known for a part of Thailand where there is a lot of crime, and crime in the sense of, these kind of stories. Rough area, oftentimes. But yeah, strange story. Well, road rage leading to a shooting. Let us know in the comment section below. What's the craziest road rage story you know? For now, we're going to move to our next story, which is regarding a British tourist drowns during holiday in Thailand. A 27-year-old British man, Theo Morgan, tragically drowned during a holiday in Thailand after a night out. While on a 10-day trip in Surat Thani, Morgan disappeared after his girlfriend briefly left him during a pub crawl. CCTV footage showed him before he vanished, and it's believed he accidentally hit his head and fell into the water. Now, the post-mortem confirmed drowning as the cause of death by alcohol intoxication. Morgan, a former Metropolitan Police officer and aspiring auditor, has left his family and friends in shock. And highlighting the unexpected dangers that can arise from everyday decisions. Yeah, tragic story out there coming for this young gentleman who has unfortunately died. I'm sure there's going to be more investigation to see if this truly was the case, but as of right now, there's no signs of foul play. Our condolences go out to the family of this young gentleman. Moving on to some of our last story of today. Thailand deports 144,000 Myanmar workers amid crackdown. Thailand has detained and deported over 144,000 Myanmar nationals in the past 3 months, targeting illegal workers amidst ongoing turmoil in Myanmar. This crackdown, which began in June, involved inspections of nearly 15,000 businesses, and the deported workers face a 2-year ban from re-entering Thailand and risk military conscription upon their return to Myanmar. Despite the vital role of Myanmar workers in Thailand's economy, particularly in agriculture and services, the Thai government is tightening regulations on migrant labor, raising concerns among employers and labor activists. Other nationalities were also affected by the crackdown, including Cambodians, Laotians, and Vietnamese. Now, the Myanmar nationals often make the news for immigrants being deported back because, for obvious reasons to some, there's a lot of Myanmar nationals. Thailand's very, close by. They just want to come across to Thailand for work reasons. A lot of them are escaping the junta leadership or the restrictions that they have in their country. And there's many ways that people look at it. Obviously, from a government's perspective, they've come in illegally and they want to deport them back to their country. But on the other hand, they're some of the hardest workers, and they do some of the hardest work in Thailand, working crazy hours, living in crazy conditions, but they get the job done. And there's many different aspects to look at it, but let us know in the comment section below. What do you think about this move by Thailand, deporting so many illegal immigrants into the country? Moving on to a story from Phuket, to the south of Thailand. Street brawl erupts between tourists and taxi drivers in Phuket. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Another taxi story involving tourists. A street brawl in Phuket between local taxi drivers and foreign tourists turned violent, raising concerns about visitor safety. The altercation involving 5 tourists and 3 taxi drivers erupted on August 30th near the Darasamut intersection and was captured in a viral 26-second video. The fight reportedly began when Iranian tourists who were intoxicated were asked by a taxi driver to move away from his vehicle. The situation quickly escalated, leading to punches and bottles being thrown, which police intervened, and both sides were charged with disturbing public peace. Despite the charges, they agreed to resolve the issue amicably. All right. Bottles being thrown. Was it as simple as, hey, stay away from my taxi? Or is there more to that story? I feel like we're missing some vital news, vital piece of information there. But the fact that there were no charges pressed shows that maybe both parties took a nice swing at each other. But thankfully, it seems like no one really got seriously injured. But another day in the life of Thailand, getting drunk and starting a fight with taxi drivers, I guess. For now, we're going to move on to our last 2 stories from around ASEAN. We'll talk about Vietnam first, as Vietnam shuts down the world's largest piracy ring. An international anti-piracy coalition led by the Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment, ACE, successfully shut down F Movies. The world's largest illegal streaming operation based in Vietnam, the operation, which included affiliate sites like BFlix and MyFlixer, garnered over 6.7 billion visits between January 23 and June 24. Vietnamese police working with Ace and Hollywood studios such as Netflix and Disney arrested 2 men connected to the sites. The takedown, hailed as a significant victory for the global creative community, sends a strong deterrent message against online piracy. Say no to online piracy, support our filmmakers. And that's all I have to say about that. Moving on to Indonesia, as Indonesia to reform Bali tourism amid growing concerns. Now, Indonesia plans to reform tourism on Bali to enhance quality and preserve local culture, according to the senior minister Luhut Panjaitan. An audit will address issues such as crime, overdevelopment, and competition for jobs caused by approximately 200,000 foreigners living on the island. The government intends to deport problematic tourists and prevent them from returning. Now, with Bali receiving 2.9 million foreign visitors in the first half of this year, officials aim to avoid negative impacts similar to those seen in Barcelona. The government will also focus on tackling trash, improving infrastructure, and preventing further overdevelopment. A policy plan for these reforms will be announced very soon. Well, Bali is one of the most popular destinations from around the world. I've wanted to visit it many times, but they say it's just like another Phuket. But for obvious reasons, it's a paradise for many, and there's a lot of foreigners living on that island. It's extremely crowded. I think you might have seen some viral photos online of the motorbike traffic. There's some pictures of some wild motorbike traffic on the island of Bali. It's a crowded place, and yeah, obviously with a big crowd comes crime, comes issues, but it's good that the government's trying to tackle it. All right. Now, our last story today takes us to Malaysia, as Tim Hortons' expansion highlights Malaysia's growing coffee culture. The arrival of Tim Hortons in Malaysia highlights the country's growing coffee culture, shifting from its traditional tea-drinking habits. Malaysia's coffee consumption surged by 73% in 21-22 and nearly 58% the following year, although demand recently dipped due to economic challenges. Despite this, the coffee market remains robust, with over 3,330 branded outlets driven by social trends among millennials and Gen Z. Tim Hortons plans to expand to 100 outlets in Malaysia within a decade, reflecting the nation's appeal as a market for international brands. Local competitors like ZUS Coffee, or ZUS Coffee, also include to thrive amid the boom. Who doesn't like a good cup of coffee? And it seems like Malaysia agrees. What do you think about Tim Hortons? I'm kind of divided. I'm not a huge fan, but I never ever think to myself, oh, I'd like a nice cup of Tim Hortons. I guess we just didn't grow up with it here in Thailand. It's more of a Starbucks, and there's a lot of good Thai coffee here as well. But yeah, let us know in the comment section below, what do you think about Tim Hortons? And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are some of the news topics from across Thailand and ASEAN now. You can find more stories on Thailand on thetiger.com. And of course, on ASEANnow.com, you can go and talk about it in our forum.